everyone, welcome back to the RMTV Women's Podcast. This is episode 92. Can we just say beforehand that if it does lag or one of us freezes, we do apologise. We've both got terrible Wi-Fi. We don't know what's going on.
Robs.
It's a problem, so apologies in advance for that. We'll do our best. If there's long pauses, we'll cut around them and all that jazz. But hi, Amy, how are you?
I'm very well.
Good.
This is our first podcast since Liverpool are champions of England and Europe and the world. So I don't think I have any complaints, in all honesty. It feels good to be talking to a fellow supporter of a English champion Premier League person.
Yeah, that's
great. Life is absolutely fantabulous. The sun's not shining, but that's fine.
That's okay.
And what better time to be than on this podcast?
Exactly. We've got a fun show. Well, I mean, that's for you to decide once it's over.
Yeah, it could be terrible. We don't know.
Yeah, it could be terrible, but you know what? You're here now. You might as well stay. First news on the agenda for today is obviously the NWSL League returns at the weekend. Football is in America. The first league to resume as well over in America, which is nice to hear. Is the women's league. Obviously, a lot of stuff's been happening over in America recently. Obviously with the Black Lives Matter movement and all that type of stuff, there's been a lot of stuff going on. So this weekend was sort of a perfect time for the league and the teams and the players in the league to sort of, obviously a lot of them would have shown their support on social media and all that type of stuff. But this is the chance as them as a team and as a league to show their support. NC Courage vs Portland was the first game back, and they all chose to kneel as for the national anthem. That was a player organised thing. That wasn't something that we had to do. That was all player organised, so that got a lot of attention. But I think the big one was when Chicago played Washington afterwards, later on that evening, and there was just an image of Juliet and Casey Short both just kneeling together, and both of them were just crying because obviously that meant so much to a lot of people, and that would have meant so much to them. Both took a knee, both were so tearful. So it was just sort of, it sounds weird to say, but it was nice to see sort of the solidarity from the team and teammates together in that moment.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a rough couple of weeks, even month. I couldn't even tell you how long it's sort of been going on. I don't even know what day of the week it is. That's sort of what stage of lockdown I'm at, if I'm being brutally honest. But yeah, I think it was definitely a sense of solidarity, and I know a lot of things have come out about national anthem and things like that, and whether it should be played, whether it shouldn't, or whatever. I think it's being left up to the players to decide what they want to do. But yeah, it was a really powerful image of the two players, and it went a long way across social media, people getting involved, getting behind, and just really not appreciating but understanding the reasoning behind it. I think it's the biggest thing. And yeah, it was quite strange to see footballers get really emotional, because I feel like you don't ever really see that side to them. But yeah, it was nice to sort of see. It wasn't nice to see them getting upset, but you can see how much it meant to them as players and things like that. So it was supported really well by the community, I think, as well.
Yeah, and obviously the National Women's Soccer League have said players can choose to remain in locker rooms or express their own individual views on the pitch while the national anthem is being played. The thing is with Americans are very patriotic, and that's not a bad thing. Be proud of where you're from and stuff like that. But they are very patriotic, so there is the other side of it where they do receive a lot of backlash as well, because people feel like they're disrespecting the flag and America as a country and the anthem and whatnot, and you can see where those people are coming from, but ultimately there's something bigger.
Bigger cause at stake, yeah.
There's something bigger going on at the minute. This is like people's lives, you know what I mean? So I think personally for me, what they're doing is right. It's the same as we've seen with Premier League footballers returned players taking a knee and Black Lives Matter on the shirt and showing just solidarity for all that. So personally for me, I think it's something good that they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think although it like kneeling especially is such a small gesture, I think it goes such a long way. Like it's something so easily done, but kind of emits a bigger message from it. Yeah. So I think it's good that like these groups of people in the Premier League and the NWSL have come together, and they've not been told to do this. It's something that the players have sort of initiated themselves, as you said. So I think it shows just how far this sort of can go. Do you know what I mean? Like there's these players are standing up for something that they believe in, and I'm with you on the fact that I think it's something valued and good that's happening across all the leagues, not just in one country but across all of them.
Yeah, definitely. Just briefly, like on the actual score lines and that themselves, I said before that North Carolina and Portland were the first game to kick it off. To my dismay, North Carolina won 2-1.
Oh no!
Wasn't happy about that, but it was just nice to have football back. And then Chicago actually got beat by Washington Spirit 2-1, which was like sort of a surprising scoreline because obviously Chicago got to the final last year. Washington is sort of like still in like a rebuilding phase. So that was like a bit of a shocking score. Not shocking scoreline, but it was just a bit of like a raised eyebrow moment when I seen it. And then today's Tuesday. So tonight Houston play. Oh God.
Oh no, this is not gone well for you.
My mind's gone blank. Houston, Sky Blue, Rain, and who's the other one? Oh my God.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you because I didn't watch it. Either way, we'll leave a link.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, no, I had a flash with them. It's gone. Anyway. Yeah, 4 teams play tonight. So one's at 10 and then one's at 12:30. So I'll try my best to watch it. But hopefully, if people are interested, I'm thinking of doing like a once a week or once after like every round, like a video just sort of explaining, talking through the games because obviously I'm a big fan of like the American Women's League. So I'd enjoy talking about it if people want to enjoy listening to it. Like, let me know in the comments below.
I'm sure they will, Lauren. You speak a lot of sense.
Thanks. I mean, I didn't just then because I can't remember the team. We'll still blank. Like, it's gonna really frustrate me that like it's not Orlando because they're not in it. I'm just trying to.
Well, when I'm talking next, you nip on your phone and get it. So I'll just spill some time. So yeah, Lauren's going to be having a new NWSL little show. What are you going to call it? Like, smashed it.
Oh my God, it's in Utah as well. How did I do apologise.
It's horrible that. What are you going to call it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Give us some ideas, people.
Yeah, let us know.
Some ideas. Tell in the comments.
Yeah.
I think it needs like a cool, like funky name, something a bit different. Obviously, it's got to be relative to the subject, but
yeah, because obviously when we were doing like the podcast like last season, we had like the NWSL scores graphic, and that was like a nice little segment to have.
Throwback
to that. That hasn't been included for a while.
Might just put it in randomly. I actually don't think I've got it anymore.
No, I don't think I've got it either. It's on Hardy.
Or is it Maverick? Might be both.
It's on both, yeah. They're the name of the Macs in the office, by the way. But yeah, so yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know. I'm working tomorrow, so I'm going to try and do it in the evening, so it'll either be out, today's Wednesday when you're watching or listening to this, so it'll either be out like very late this evening or tomorrow, which is Thursday. So keep your
When
eye.
do all the games, like, when do, like, the game weeks, you know what I mean,
Well,
finish?
the first round finishes tonight, and then there's games on Thursday and like over the weekend and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to try and work it so that I can like sort of
Probably, like, what about, like, Thursday, like, lunch? So
yeah.
then you can say, look out for these games tonight as well. We're just brainstorming on the pod here. It's going well.
Telling you all our ideas. Yeah, it'll probably be out Thursday. Because I'll probably film it tomorrow evening, so it'll be out Thursday. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that because I've been wanting to do it for a while, and then obviously I probably would have been doing it regularly, but obviously the season just didn't start because
I think we sort of had the idea. We had, like, you had the idea, and we sort of agreed that you were going to do something like along the lines of like a video a week or whatever covering it. But I feel like we just never got around to like sorting it.
Yeah, and then obviously Rona happened, and there we are. So yeah, but something will be coming, so hopefully a lot of yous will be excited about that. Moving on.
My cooking show.
What?
I'm going to start a cooking show.
Yeah. Bake with Amy.
Woo! I'm joking. I'm not.
Oh my dad, that's fun. That's fun.
Not really football related though.
No, but you could make like a Rachel Furness pancake.
Gosh, that would be really difficult. Don't think I've got the appropriate utensils to be able to carry that out.
You could make a Prenton Park cake.
Oh, imagine. Or even I could just start making like all the different logos in the league.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
In the championship.
It's not happening.
We'll move on from Amy's baking, and we'll talk about something that BBC Sport are reporting. Well, that's where the stories come from, and Amy's froze, so I'm just going to continue talking until she comes back, because this is something that we're now dealing with, is terrible Wi-Fi. I'm not sure if she can still hear me. I can't hear her. Hey! Phil.
That ended really well. That ended well though, because we said moving on, then it stopped, so we can just cut. That's brilliant.
I did Phil, but we've got options, so we're okay. Yeah, but Premier League offers women's football $1 million to help start 2020-21 season. So basically offering £1 million to help cover the cost of coronavirus testing. Richard Masters, who's the chief exec, told the Department of Culture, Media and Sport that he would like the Premier League to take over the running of the Women's Super League, but he said now isn't the right time. There's obviously rumours that the league's going to be starting like from September, which there's no formal announcement on that, but that's sort of the assumption from everyone involved in the game. It's just going to start when it would regularly start, which I don't see the problem in that, because obviously the players have had all this time off. Pre-season starting soon, sort of just going about its normal business. Apart from, you know, the whole everything else that's going on in the world. But what do you think of that quote, that now isn't the right time for the Premier League to take over the women's game?
I kind of don't know what it means, because I think maybe a lot of it has got to do with the financial situation that not just the WSL is in, but also the Premier League, and whether they're able to commit that sort of effort, time, money, or everything under that umbrella to sort of invest in the women's game at this precise moment, which is maybe what they're alluding to, the fact that financially everything is so up in the air, even though like the government financially is completely up in the air, the economy, anything like that. So I think it's probably difficult for them to say that yes, we can do this, we will be able to fund all of it, when they're probably not sure themselves in terms of even Premier League funding what the situation is. So I think I'm hoping that's what it means. I can't think of potentially any other reason, but I think I genuinely think it's hard to say whether you know it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
Like, my initial instinct is that's a good thing if the Premier League takes over. That's without me even like, that's not without me properly like researching into it and seeing what that would actually like entail. But off the bat, like, you see the progression of the Premier League. It's one of the best leagues in the world in terms of the men's football. To have maybe the women following that same way, like, we want to be the best league in the best women's league in the world as well. So if the Premier League sort of lifts up the women's league to be able to reach those sort of levels, I think it's a brilliant investment. But it just makes you wonder what sort of terms and conditions come along with that. What would that mean in terms of using different facilities, funding, and things like that? Whether it would be so much more generic, might make it an equal playing field. You don't know, but initially, I'm like, sound. And I think the 1 million to help with testing will be really beneficial to some of the clubs that maybe can't afford to do it.
Yeah, like, it'll massively help a lot of them. Oh, and she's through.
Relationship.
Sorry, I missed that last bit.
You back?
Yeah, it completely messed up again, but I got the gist of what you were saying. That, like, it's going to be beneficial to...
I got it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's massively going to help them. But then it's like, you're looking at the futures. Like, obviously, it's going to be beneficial for the future. But in terms of the present, in terms of right now, there's been no help. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, our league had to end, our season had to end so abruptly, so unfairly, you know, for every single team in the league, and same goes for like championships and all the other leagues below. It had to end simply because we didn't have money for it. We didn't have money to get testing. We apparently, you know, that it wasn't safe to continue. But yeah, here's the Premier League doing week in, week out. Players getting tested twice a week. Balls are getting sprayed at half time, wearing masks wherever it's possible. And it's just sort of like, you can see that it's working. It's clearly working. So, like, you know for a fact that if the WSL and those other leagues would have had the access to that type of stuff, we would have still been talking about Liverpool women playing a game every week. Do you know what I mean? Our season probably would have finished in the next 2 weeks or so, depending on how many games you played and whatever. So, like, we could have been in a completely different position, and, like, obviously we're going to be a bit more annoyed about it as, like, Liverpool fans because we've been relegated. And there's probably like Man City and Arsenal fans are going to be more annoyed about it because they still have the potential to win the title and get like a Champions League spot. So it's like, I don't know, it's more frustrating for that. But then you can see that, like, you can't see why they're saying now isn't the right time. But then it's like, well, when is the right time? Because I don't see how off the season after a World Cup, which was like the most viewed, you know, women's matches, and the amount of media attention it got and the amount of more people who were interested, I didn't see how this wasn't the better time to sort of give it that little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's obviously something that's not just been thought about overnight. It's obviously been thought about for a long period of time. So I agree with you on that. Like, we've just had a massive World Cup. You would have thought after the World Cup would be the brilliant time to make that happen. But then equally, that's when Barclays invested. So maybe that was something that got in the way. I don't really know, but I know what you mean. Like, as I said, this is not something that's just been plucked out of thin air. Like, there's obviously been talks about this before. It's been made public for sure. I'd like a bit more like information as to why it's not the perfect time, like a bit of reasoning, so we can then understand as fans the reasoning why. But I think if it happens in the future, like, brilliant. I can't see why you'd want to oppose it, especially after how successful the Premier League's been.
Yeah.
And what it would bring in so much more investment for sure, and then you'd see teams striving and not having the problems that some teams have had in the past. So interesting to see what sort of develops in the future and when the right time will be.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be definitely something to keep an eye on. obviously not next season, but you never know. Question marks raised about the season after. So hopefully we know there might be something by then, and hopefully Liverpool are back in the top flight, and
God, I hope so.
we can reap the full benefits. One good thing though that we've got to look forward to in the next couple of years is the 2023 Women's World Cup, and
Amazing.
that was officially confirmed that the hosts are Australia and New Zealand. Absolutely buzzing about that. Like the scenes from last week were just amazing. You watched the video of them, but like their first reaction to being told that it was, because they just see the announcements at the same time we all do on like their live stream. So the reaction from the board and some of the players who were there was just like boss to see. 22 of the 35 votes cast by the FIFA Council were for Australia, but Colombia did get 13. There wasn't that many. There was like 9. I think it was only 9 votes difference, which isn't that many. So it could have all. There was rumours circulating like throughout the day that it was being announced that Colombia could actually be the one to host, which I don't think a lot of people were for. But yeah, just Australia, New Zealand. I don't think you can find a more perfect place, to be honest.
Oh, I'm buzzing, especially if we can manage to sort of get over there. Never been to Australia, never been to New Zealand, never been to that side of the world. So I would absolutely love to go. If anyone would like to send us, we're you gals. But yeah, I'm buzzing about that. I think they deserve it. I think it's time, and I think they're ready for it. I think, in all like respect to Colombia, I think Australia and New Zealand are in a much better position to be able to really broadcast the event at a high level. Even with some of the stats that have come out, apparently Colombia only received a score of 2.8 in terms of like technical evaluation, and I think Australia and New Zealand were like 4.1, so they were quite high above in that. And I think the main look for this World Cup, building on the last one, is to really like explode it, really like blow it up and make it a massive event that loads of people tune into. And I think they've only got like inspiration from the last World Cup, and if you build on that, I think you're onto a winner. And I really think Australia and New Zealand will be able to be that platform to help elevate the women's game in that sense internationally so much more. And obviously there's more teams as well this time. I think it's gone up to 32 from 24, 32 from 24, which is a lot of teams. So we're seeing some teams that we've probably never even seen before, which is brilliant.
Genuinely, I think the one thing for me was like when I seen on Instagram that they'd lit up like the Sydney Opera House, and like you could see Sam Kerr like doing a backflip, and then like Ali Riley was on there, who's the New Zealand captain. It's just like you could tell how much it just meant for them all to get that result, because like you were just being able to do that. Like imagine seeing yourself on, like seeing your face on the side of the Opera House. You know what I mean? Like just the whole.
That's like seeing our face on like the Liver building.
Yeah, like genuinely. Like I think the amount of effort they've put in just to like even before they knew that they were hosting the World Cup, so you can imagine the amount of effort they're going to put into like the whole like ceremonies and the like the stadiums, and like just making it the whole experience like amazing. Like I'm so excited for it. Like I just wish it was like we didn't have to wait another 3 years for it, because that seems like a lifetime away at the moment. So it's just like I'm hoping it goes. I mean, I'm not wishing my life away, but I'm hoping it goes quickly. So I just want to like see the tournament. I just want to go and like be there and just like witness it.
Honestly.
Well, finally, as Amy's written the agenda, it wouldn't be a podcast without talking about Phil Neville. I feel like in some way he's always brought into them. It was Phil Neville's decision to step down as England manager. Obviously his contract for next year, so it was his choice, and probably other people probably had a little bit of a hand in it as well. But Badness Sue Campbell has come out and said it was fully his decision. Campbell says Neville was very clear he'd come to do a 3-year job. The option to extend that contract, I didn't take it beyond offering it to him. I'd have had to have taken it to the board and other people, but he didn't want that. To me, that seems a bit weird.
Oh yeah.
He's obviously missing out on the Olympics. He's missing out on the Euros. Well, he might not miss out on the Olympics. He might do that, but I think he will. So that means he's only really took England to one major tournament, which was a World Cup. Like you can't take that away from him. He's obviously had like Tucci believes in that as well. But to me, it just seems bizarre that if he's sort of built a foundation of a strong England women's team. We've got so many new faces and up and coming players sort of coming in through the ranks as well. Why would you not want to sort of extend for at least another year? Like, why would you not want to leave after the Euros in 2022? Why not be like, that's my final career, like I'll do the Euros and then that's it? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all very fishy to me because I think this completely goes hand in hand with the comments that he made the other week about it seemed to all of us that it was a stepping stone for him to get his managerial career on track and then get himself into a male team role. And the fact that he's clearly said, I was going to be here for 3 years, no more, no less, says to me that those assumptions that people made about the fact that it was a stepping stone pretty much might be true, which is kind of sad and upsetting to say. Like, people need to stop using women's football as a stepping stone because it's not. It should be a destination that people want to end up at, not leave from to get elsewhere. But I think that completely coincides with what we've talked about like before. Like it seems to be clear now what his goal was when he first got that role, and I think he probably thinks he's got out of it all he needed. He's got the profile out of it now. He's got his recognition of a manager status out of it now, and I think that's all that he cares about. In all fairness.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think just like you're saying, you don't want it to be a stepping stone, so you don't want a manager who's just here for like, oh, I'll have a 3-year deal, see what happens in the 3 years, and then hopefully get a better job at the end of it. Like, you know, what I don't see in terms of like satisfaction. Like, he's England women's manager, you know what I mean? We're not a poor team. We're not, you know, like it's not like he hasn't got access to, you know, a really great squad and facilities and stuff like that. Like, he might end up going. I highly doubt, no disrespect to Phil, but like I highly doubt a Premier League team's going to come knocking on the door for him. You know?
Not yet.
Exactly. So what's he waiting for, type of thing? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, it just baffles me a little bit. But then also on the other side of it, I'm like, fine. I'd rather have someone in charge who sees this as a long-term job and not just a short-term little project for them to sort of do. Like, I'd rather someone come in and want to build the best team in the world. Do you know what I mean?
It's like, it almost feels like he's just wasted our time in a way. Feels a bit harsh to say that, but it feels like he's not bought into what that team brings and what that team means to other people.
Yeah.
It seems he's been really selfish with the choices that he's made, and he's done it for himself, and he's done it for himself. And although, don't get me wrong, he's provided some great moments, obviously, like winning the She Believes and some of the games of the World Cup I don't think I'll ever forget. But equally, I can't help but feel that he was just completely out for himself the whole time and not really caring about leaving a legacy sort of thing. He wasn't really that arsed about that. I think he knew what he wanted to get out of it, and he's obviously got that now and has been like, right, fine, see you later.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's definitely been some interesting comments since the announcement was made that he was leaving, and read into them what you will, sort of type thing. So everyone can make their own assumptions on what he's trying to say there. But yeah, it'd be exciting, to be honest, to see who sort of comes into the role. Obviously, like, a lot of high profile names are being thrown about, so you never know. Makes you a little bit excited for it. Olympics.
I know I am.
Olympics can't come soon enough. Be interesting to see if She Believes goes ahead next year as well, because obviously that's like a yearly tournament, but it's like normally like February, March time, isn't it? So be interesting.
You never know.
Years ahead, but yeah, that's everything on the agenda. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Like I said, hopefully be filming an NWSL video this evening, be Wednesday when you're watching it, so that'll be out tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Any names, any suggestions in the comments, let us know, give us some ideas, anything for like future videos or future podcasts as well, just let us know. So we finished filming the podcast. We were just chatting, just chilling, just catching up, having a little bit of a chin wag.
Nice.
Go on social media and see the Telegraph women reporting that Lucy Bronze and Alex Greenwood have agreed to join Manchester City ahead of the new WSL season. Wow. I mean,
I'm actually like flabbergasted.
Yeah, Amy swore several times when I told her the news.
I just don't understand. I'm so sorry, that WhatsApp notification was so loud. I don't understand. What, like, Alex Greenwood literally left Manchester United last season, and is now coming back and joining Manchester City.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, so I'll read a little bit of the report by Katie Wyatt that says England stars Lucy Bronze and Alex Greenwood have agreed terms to join Manchester City ahead of the new Women's Super League season. Telegraph Sport can reveal. On Monday, Bronze and Greenwood each signed a 2-month contract extension until August 31st at Lyon to enable them to compete in the Champions League when it resumes later in the summer. Yeah, wow. I mean, that's just like amazing signings for Manchester City. Like, they're probably gonna get Chloe Kelly as well. That's like the rumours circulating. That she's going there. Pretty much set in stone that she's going there. So like, their squad next season is going to be amazing. They
must be losing someone. They've got to be, because that's already massive.
Well, it makes me think, obviously, like Demi Stokes is left back for City. She's not going to want to give up her space. Alex Greenwood isn't going to want to sit on the bench. She can't go from being captain at United to being Lyon's left back to sitting on the bench for City. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, wow. Like, I just can't. I think you can tell by both our reactions. It's just a bit like, oh my God.
I'm a bit shooketh. That is the word. Shooketh is the word I would use. That just makes me think, like, what's going on at Lyon to make two of their like regular. Lucy Bronze, best player in the world, in her position. What has made her want to leave? What's going on?
God, I'm so.
We're back.
Yeah, you go. Continue.
Oh, I can't remember what I was saying. It makes me think Man City want to win, and they want to win big next season.
Yeah. I don't think, to like touch on your point about like what's going on at Lyon, I don't think anything's going on that like would make one want to make players leave. Like, obviously Lucy Bronze has been there for a couple of years now. Our contract was up this year anyway. I don't think Alex Greenwood was quite suited to Lyon. I think when like she initially signed for them, it was a bit of like okay, like she's a good player. Like, wasn't expecting Lyon, like, but like obviously you're gonna go because it's Lyon. But I think like she'd be more than willing to obviously come back to the UK to play. But yeah, like City are going big next season. Like, fair play. Like, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with their squad.
I've just seen a tweet here, and it says from Katie Wyatt. I think she actually writes for the Telegraph. My understanding is Lucy Bronze, Alex Greenwood and Chloe Kelly have all agreed terms to move to Man City. Kelly waiting for a medical, and other two should be announced later this summer for sure, like revealed. So.
Wow. I mean, I'm glad we were able to add this into the podcast, because it would look very silly if we didn't speak about it, because that is like some breaking news.
I'm just baffled. I'd like to know what everyone else thinks. I feel like I need a bit more time to process this whole situation. But we've mentioned it now.
Yeah, it's
sure,
in here.
In depth at the point.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you can all talk about it in the comments now. Give us your thoughts on them. But yeah, we just thought we'd add this in. I'll do the outro again, just in case I need to. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you all next time with a brand new podcast. Bye.